When NBA YoungBoy trends, it's usually for music, numbers, drama, or something wild he said online. But this time, it hit differently. Instead of flexes or beef, people started seeing posts that looked dark, scary, and not like just another I'm mad at the world rant. He was dropping suicidal sounding messages and even posting an image of Chris Benoit, a name that, for a lot of people, is directly tied to one of the darkest stories in wrestling history. That combination had fans, blogs, and even casual observers going, hold up, this doesn't feel like content, this feels like a cry for help. Let's really unpack what's going on here without turning it into a spectacle and talk about why this set off alarms for so many people. First, when an artist like YoungBoy posts anything that sounds suicidal, that's not just regular celebrity drama. This is someone with a huge platform, millions of young fans, and a catalog that already leans into pain, paranoia, anger, and feeling alone. People hear his music and see a young guy who's been through a lot: legal pressure, house arrest, industry expectations, constant online criticism, and the weight of providing for a big family and big entourage. So when he starts posting things that sound like I'm done, I don't want to be here, or anything in that lane, the concern isn't just for him. It's for what that energy might do to people who relate to him a little too hard. Then you add in the Chris Benoit photo. That's not a random choice. Benoit isn't some neutral wrestling legend. He's infamous for a murder suicide that shocked the world. So when you put that face on your page at the same time you're talking like you don't want to live, people are going to connect the dots and think the worst. Whether YoungBoy meant it literally, symbolically, or just as a way to show this is how I feel right now, the association is heavy. It's not a joke. It's not edgy. For a lot of people, it's disturbing. We've got to be clear here. We don't know exactly what's going on inside his head. Nobody scrolling a feed can accurately diagnose his mental state from posts. But the point is, the posts are worrying enough that people feel like they can't just brush them off. That's what you're seeing when fans flood his comments with, "We need you, don't do anything stupid, praying for you." That's not stan culture being dramatic. That's genuine fear that their favorite might be in real danger, or at least in a really dark place. Now, some folks will shrug and say rappers do this all the time. It's attention, it's promotion, it's part of the rollout. And sometimes, yes, people do weaponize pain online to get a reaction. But here's the thing: we never really know which time is the one that wasn't just for show. Think about how many times people said, oh, they're just being dramatic, answered us about someone's dark posts, and then something tragic actually happened later. That's why, even if there is a clout element, you still have to treat comments about death and self-harm as serious. Better to overreact than to be the one who laughed and then watched a headline we all wish we hadn't seen. We also need to talk about what it means for someone like YoungBoy specifically. He's not just some random guy posting dark thoughts to 300 followers. He's a cultural figure. His music is the soundtrack for a lot of kids who feel overlooked, angry, traumatized, or stuck. When they see someone they view as powerful and successful talking like they're ready to give up, it hits hard. On one hand, it can make people feel seen, like, he's rich and still hurting, so I'm not crazy for feeling like this. On the other hand, it can normalize hopelessness if it's not balanced with some kind of message like, I'm getting help, or I'm fighting through this. And this is the tricky part. We want artists to be honest about their pain, but we also need to be careful about glorifying or romanticizing the idea of self-destruction. That's where the Chris Benoit image in particular crosses a line for a lot of people. That's not just about I'm hurting. That's tying yourself to a person known for an act of extreme violence and tragedy. When you put that onto a page followed by millions, you're putting a lot of dark symbolism into the public's hands with no explanation. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about why stuff like this keeps happening with public figures. Fame doesn't fix mental health. In a lot of ways, it makes it worse. You're under a microscope. Every move you make is judged. Your mistakes are screenshotted and memed. And the people around you can sometimes be more focused on what you generate than how you're doing. You can be in a huge house and still feel locked in. You can have fans and still feel like nobody really knows you. Add in legal restrictions, Isolation, career pressure, relationships, custody situations. It's not hard to see how somebody could start spiraling. But here's the part that's uncomfortable to say. The internet loves the chaos. The same timeline that says protect your mental health will also turn somebody's obvious breakdown into 6 jokes and 3 TikTok sounds. People will quote tweet a cry for help in the morning and then move on to the next meme that afternoon. That disconnect is part of why artists end up dropping darker and darker posts. It's like they're trying to break through the noise to be seen as human, not just content. At the same time, once you're a public figure, everything you post becomes part of your legacy. If YoungBoy gets through this patch, looks back, and sees the Benoit image and suicidal messages, he might wish he'd handled that pain privately or with more guidance. But in the moment, when you're hurting, it's easy to treat your page like a diary instead of what it is, a billboard seen by millions, including kids. So what should we do with all this as viewers and as a culture? Number one, don't treat posts like this as entertainment. If someone, famous or not, is talking about wanting to die, not wanting to be here, or posting imagery tied to self-harm, that's your cue to stop the jokes. You don't have to suddenly become a therapist, but you can at least respond with empathy or say nothing instead of piling on. Number two, it's okay to say this is not okay and still care about the person. You can be a fan of YoungBoy and still say posting Chris Benoit is out of pocket. You can understand he's struggling and still recognize that certain imagery crosses into dangerous territory. Number three, if you're someone who relates to him a lot, maybe you're sitting in your room feeling the same heavy thoughts, let this be a sign that you need to talk to somebody. Not in a comment section, not through subtweets, but a real person you trust, a friend, a family member, a mentor, a counselor. And if it ever gets to the point where you're thinking about hurting yourself, you don't need to be embarrassed about reaching out to a crisis line or local mental health service. There's zero shame in needing help, because at the end of the day, that's what this really is. A reminder that mental health is not a joke, not a trend, and not something money automatically solves. It's real work, it's uncomfortable conversations, it's professional support. It's people around you saying, we're not just here for the hits, we're here for you as a person. For YoungBoy, I hope he has at least a few people in his circle who are less focused on his streams and more focused on his sanity. People who aren't scared to say, bro, let's log off for a minute. Let's talk off camera. Let's get you some tools to deal with all this. For his fans, the best thing they can do is send love without pressure. Not drop a new tape. Not go at so-and-so. But hope you're okay. Take care of yourself. That kind of energy. And for everybody else, this is a chance to look at the way we react when celebrities clearly aren't okay. Do we make memes, or do we take it as a sign that the way we chew people up for content has real consequences? If you're here because you're tired of everything being a joke and you actually want conversations that treat this kind of situation with some seriousness, you're in the right place. Thank you for watching and for sticking through a heavier topic. If you got something from this breakdown, hit like, drop your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and subscribe to the Short Clips Podcast so you don't miss the next deep dive into the stories your timeline can't stop talking about.